This is my Geometry Dash level editor tutorial. So now that I'm done with both of my levels, which you can watch in all my other videos, now I'm going to show you how to kind of use this level editor a little bit. I'm not super great at using it. I know there's a lot more features that you could design and use, but at the very least I can show you what I know. So when you're on the first screen, you go over to the tool, create over here. There's a lot of stuff, but just create, and then you want to create a new level. So you go down here in the corner, you press new, give it some kind of name. This will just be tutorial because that's the name of my level, and then press right here. Press right here to create the level. So now you're in this empty level editor situation here. So you can scroll up and down to kind of gain depth and like to your level. So if you want to go higher up, you can go higher up. If you want to go lower, just look at that. Kind of stop here though, because that's where the floor is. That's kind of in this new update. It tells you where the floor is. Before it kind of had to guess a little bit. So that's really nice. Now you've got all of these different tabs, and I'm not going to explain every single tab because we'd be here forever. But as you can see, this has a bunch of different blocks. So if you keep going through, there's a bunch of different blocks that you can use. Just a ton of blocks. All right, let me go back to this first one over here. So, well, where is it? Okay, here we go. So any blocks that have like this line around them, this white line, wherever the white line is, that is a collision point. So the player runs into this white line, they'll die. Or if they go on top of this white line, they can just skate across if you have multiple blocks, like skate across them. If it doesn't have a white line, you're going to fall through the block. But that's all right because if you go to the second thing, there's all these little white lines that you can add. So if you want a different kind of collision, if you want a thicker collision to make it look nicer, if you want one side to not have a collision on it, want players to go through some blocks, I've done that on one of my levels. Players are actually able to go through one of the block sections. You can do that by just adding certain edges and certain angles or having none at all. Now we can go over to here. We've got some different angles that you can see. So you can like create some kind of bridge scenario here, some kind of ramp. You've got all these spikes, which I use the triangles for spikes. So players step on them, they die. Players hit them, they die. But you can use them for other scenarios as well. If you want to just create a giant triangle, you can, for players to jump over instead of just like a spike situation. It just depends on how creative you are. Then you've got a lot of just like side pieces here that you can build different kind of pieces with. This is where it starts to get a bit complicated. These are buttons that you can add, just like start animations and stop animations and all these kind of situations. I just could not for the life of me figure them out. Now, portals are where you really want to focus on because portals are super fun and each portal does something different, and you need to have like a similar portal behind it to end and go back to the regular square. This is a lot of fun stuff. I think portals are super fun. You should definitely add a lot because you get to change the variety of the level instead of just being a square the whole time. You can be, a robot, or you can be a little triangle thing that goes up and down, or you can be like a spaceship, all this kind of cool stuff. So I definitely recommend adding a bunch of those. There's some other options here, and I'm not 100% sure what all these letters are. I tried to play around with them, but I didn't notice a difference. These are to help speed up your player, so it'll make the player start going faster if it hits that. Because I have that in one of my levels. Then we've got some just like cool pieces here. If the player runs into these black pieces, they will die. But they're cool, and now that they're already animated for you, so like you don't have to animate these guys. They're already animated for you. If you just put it in there, then it starts chomping away like crazy, which is really cool. Because before it wasn't. The fire and stuff, again, this stuff's animated. They'll die if they run into the fire. That's really cool. This giant fireball thing, or this little spinning ball thing is kind of cool too. I was able to add a lot of this to my lava level because it was now animated. All these little just pieces that you can add. You can add raindrops if you want to, just to make it like visually more pleasing. Now you get some animation on all this kind of stuff, which is really, really cool that they went ahead and added all this stuff. You've got a bunch of just like aesthetic pieces to add to your level as well. Then some of these do different things. This one, there's like a coin you can collect. There's like chests and all these different things. I think most of this stuff is just aesthetics. They don't actually do anything. Most of this stuff is just aesthetics anyway. Most of this is just aesthetics, but they're really cool. You can still animate some stuff, but most of the stuff has been animated for you now, which is really nice. But if you want to add like a swinging ball that's attached to a chain, like you're going to have to animate that yourself with all these little pieces over here. So let me just like build something really quickly. Let's see, this is a square that will work. Square, 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 square. And then let's just do a second level of squares. Alright, that's cool. Squares. Now these squares, if you go down here to edit, you've got all these special features. You can scale stuff up, you can warp it, you can change the size of stuff, you can move where each little square is located, up, down. I think one more down. There we go. The arrow sizes depend on how much you want to move it. So if you want to move it just a little bit, if you want to move it really high, stuff like that. If you want to flip it around. With a square, it doesn't matter, obviously, which way you flip it, but there's also all these features over here, so you can copy values and paste them to other pieces. You can change the color of some of stuff. So like this object, you can change the color just by dragging it up and different colors, and then that's the outside. So then you go down here and you can change a bunch of different, anyways, you can play around with that, change it all to your heart's desire, and change all the colors of this stuff. That's how I had a level that's all blue and a level that's all orange and red, which was really cool. Okay, so let me just put in like some spikes here. Let's put a spike here. Let's add not smoke, I don't want smoke. Let's go ahead and add like a flame here, and let's just play it. Why not? Let's see, save and play, sure. So as you can see, just jump. Oh, well, died. Whoop. And there we go. You automatically finish the level wherever you stopped. That will be your end. So you don't have to put a set end into your level, whereas some editors you have to put a start and an end. You automatically start at the front of the page and you automatically stop at the last brick area you place. So that's pretty nice. A lot of it's done on the back end. You don't have to program anything, which is nice. You just have to design it all, which is still a lot of work. But as a programmer as well, it's nice to not have to program a bunch of the features. I keep scrolling down. Anyway, because my instinct is to scroll to the side, but you gotta use this to scroll to the side. So that's the basic setup and explanation of some of these blocks and stuff. The main thing is just changing it up as you go. So let me delete this fire right here. Let me show you a portal real quick, just because I like playing around with them. So which one? I'm gonna pick this one. This one's kind of cool. So, right. Boop. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna save and play. Oops, there we go. Nope, not today. And then this one, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. That you saw on my level. It's kind of fun, but it's just as easy as that. Just drop a portal in there and you'll change it instantly. You can also test in the level editor. So, and then end it here. And one of the cool things about being able to do this is you can tell where it leaves a line. So this line is actually super helpful because then you can start to build some of the stuff around it. Be like, okay, so this was the line that path I took. So I can avoid this, I can do this, I can put something here because I know I can jump over it because the player is able to jump this high. So I can put a spike here, knowing that they can jump from here to here without touching this block. It helps just in the design of, instead of having to replay over and over again you can use this line to help you kind of design where you want each piece. You still have to replay a lot because that's part of this level editor, which is a thing that I'm not a super huge fan of, but it's all right. It's just the way it's designed. But you can use this line to help you out a lot. I do recommend playing the level in the level editor, not just playing it, saving and playing, like playing the level editor so that you can do that as well. So I would say there's a lot of freaking options everywhere. I don't have time to talk about every single option, but you can change a lot of things. There's a lot of different modes and options. This is where you select the song, so you can change it all the time. But there's a lot of settings. It's kind of overwhelming almost how many settings there are. But I hope this level editor video tutorial helped somebody out.